Another tough day at work today. Steve and Kirk think I suck. Throw back a few wobbly pops, feeling down on my luck. And the interns ruin every show. But it's still where we want to go. It's Mike and the Minifans. 'Cause nobody had any better plans. You want to be with DC and RA Minahan. The host can't see, it's Mike and the Minifans.
All right, what is happening, everybody? We got Mike and the Minifans back after a 1 week hiatus. Honestly, that is kind of why we are here today. Last week, unacceptable, completely unacceptable. One of the more controversial weeks in show history. The first thing I did on Friday was check what time's Mike and the Minifans, and it was not there. And that led me to start bitching. Shark Minahan and I had some exchanges, and it just led to this. And a lot of people were asking, is this Mick and the Minifans? Is this what we're doing? No, this is Mike and the Minifans. I will host it, hosted by Mick going forward. This is always going to be Mike and the Minifans. Longest running show on the network. I don't know if that's true, but I believe that. And we're here tonight. We got Menners, Bill Leach, Montante, Little People Big World Guy, and Matt from Providence. A lot to get to here today. Fellas, how are we doing?
Mick, you're not even, you're actually kind of lying. It's still Mike and the Minifans.
You are Mike.
Yeah, well, there you go. Okay, but
Let's keep it going if you want to be literal here.
The name is staying Mike and the Minifans. That's right. There you go.
Smoothest transition in showbiz.
No, there it is.
Let's go by legal name here. I actually like the Facts Solo episode. Yeah. Nothing important was said, but an hour got filled.
Good start as well, Mick. Throwing the floor open just by saying "How are you" to 5 other people. I can tell you how I am. Look, I've got this from Putnam, Connecticut. There's Mayo and Justin backstage before Mayo's big performance. Justin's looking good. Not skinnier yet, but certainly not as bloated as normal.
It's been a week.
I'm not sure what the acceptable standard is for charities, but I did some looking up on the tax forms for that charity Andy's performing for tonight, and 60% go to root causes. I'm not sure if that's good or not, but I'm sure we got some people out there who can let us know.
Oh, we got the research team, Matt from Providence, ready to go. I'm always down to shit on Andy Mayo, but we'll save that for a little while. We got to talk about Kirk and Big Cat. That's obviously the news today. Most controversial stuff. I'll start with Menners because you're a prick. What did you expect the conversation to go that way? Did you expect the fences to be mended? How did you see that whole thing going? Do you believe it was a bit? Where are your thoughts with the whole thing?
I thought the conversation today was pretty soft. I mean, but Dan's such a nice guy. He's never going to go in hard. For some reason, Kirk didn't go in that hard. They had a couple of digs, but it was a bit of an anticlimax, I would say. I did appreciate the shout out from my friend Dan, but they didn't really fight or anything. Kirk didn't really hold his feet to the fire about the whole Boston thing.
It's almost like there's 3 months in between the initial fight. You fucking dink. What do you expect?
Well, I mean, the timing makes it all too obvious, right? The timing makes it obvious it was a bit. I mean,
wasn't a bit.
You don't think it was a bit? It just so happens that the day after the finale comes out, they're good all of a sudden.
Because the initial thing happened literally a quarter of the year ago, 3-4 months ago. Like they had to bite their tongue, and Lord knows, I thought Kirk was doing a bit for 3 or 4 months. I said certainly he wouldn't be giving away a fight that obviously he was. So the initial fight was 3 or 4 months ago, and no one could speak about it until now. And now, listen, we've all had fights where you sleep on it, and the next day you're not that angry. Do that times 90.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
Matt, do you think that they both agreed? Yeah, we're going to pretend to hate each other for 3 months, not really talk to each other. And then when all this comes out, Kirk's going to do 48 hours of hating Big Cat, and then they're going to kiss and make up. I do not think that happened at all. I don't think it was orchestrated. I think maybe they both rewatched the show and were like, okay, we can. It's not like anybody died here. At the end of the day, Big Cat got exposed for where he's from. It's really not that big of a deal. It was more in his own head and him hiding it. But I don't think these two guys orchestrated a bit.
Not necessarily orchestrated, right? But there can be kind of an underlying understanding that, hey, the show's going on. We, sparked this fight. We got to keep it going. And, we'll go back to Chicago in January. We can patch things up then. I'm sure there was a concerted effort there to say, hey, all right, let's squash the beef. But, Kirk is Kirk. If Kirk wants to hate somebody forever, he'll hate somebody forever. So clearly he didn't really have that hate in his heart here. He knew it was going to kind of be up once they met in January. That's just my personal feeling on it.
Mick is the king of the bit, so he should be able to sniff another one out. But just the other thing,
I'm going to let the other panelists talk for a minute. Thank you.
Just the one thing though, they did admit they spoke.
No, Manners. We'll get back to you. I promise. Plenty of time here. Little people, big world guy. Where are you at with all of this? How you feeling about Big Cat, the relationship, and everything?
Great job handling the show. First off, Mick, you gotta keep the balance.
Go suck a dick, you fatty.
I mean, I don't think it was a bit. Obviously, as the time goes on, the wounds are going to heal. So I definitely don't think it was a bit. I love that Montante and Menners are the ones making fun of the way I look. It makes me feel so good.
I didn't say anything with the way you look yet.
I see your queer little smile on him.
You're a fat fucking pig. And I'm not talking about you, Bill Leach. I'm talking about the guy beneath you.
Straight.
Take that hat off, Montante.
No,
hateful.
I know what's underneath it. No, I won't.
All right, let's get back to what's at point here. Come on.
So what I just feel like you don't say all the things that are bad about someone that no one else is willing to say if it's just a bit. Like Kirk didn't just call out Big Cat. He called out everyone involved in Chicago and put them on blast for the most part. They are all suck ups. They will do whatever he says. So to me, I don't feel like that was a bit. Do I think the response today kind of seemed watered down? Yeah, I do agree with Menners. I don't think it was really as to be expected.
Well, I don't think the hate was still there. They already spoke behind the scenes. It's been literally, like I said, 3 or 4 months since the initial flare up. I think it'd be bitty if they went back at it today like they didn't speak behind the scenes. I think today was the end of it coming to an end. Nothing more.
No, I agree.
You're forgetting about the hate that Big Cat, got flushed with. Like the 3 months did pass, but the real hate came from all the Minifans and everybody tweeting at him like that. That was when the real, shit would sting, I would say, right?
I would say Kirk's initial hate was like the original like tsunami, and then the people flowing in behind were like the aftershocks. Like Kirk was already the tsunami already passed. Like that already happened.
Yeah. But don't you feel like it was quick? It was quick this time because obviously we knew there was some kind of strife, but we didn't really know what it was leading up to. So there was like that 2-3 weeks of where everyone was giving them shit, but Kirk and them hit it for so long. So I don't think that really led into a bit.
If you really look at the build up to the Dan and Kirk rife, it was, I think we were all kind of expecting something a little more strong to happen in the game because it was built up for so long. But the biggest after effect was he said the one thing that would get Big Cat angry was bringing up that he's from Massachusetts. Like it's not like Big Cat was actually going back equally and like bringing up Kirk's family or anything. If you're that mad at somebody and they kind of just take the knee initially, like you can only be so mad. It's not like Big Cat got back equal to him, like brought up wedge me or anything. Big Cat kind of just played dumb and just laid down, took the beating, and then it passed.
But it's not that he played dumb. It's that he's a massive fucking pussy. He was never going to really fight back. And he knew that if he tried to fight back, Kirk would fucking whoop his ass.
Mick, have you paid your electricity bill? Can you turn a light on?
Jesus, well, somewhat. I mean, you know what I mean? He calls me the bit guy. It's every single time.
What are you talking about? You're the only one in a dark room and you're the host.
Get it out now. What else we got? Your time's up. Bill Leach, where are you at with everything? Do you believe that all this was a bit? Do you think anything was out of bounds, low blow? Do you think Big Cat deserved this? Come on, give me something.
No, I don't think it was a bit. I agree with Montante. I think it was just, it's been 3-4 months. You're welcome. No, it's been 3-4 months. I think he was really mad when it happened. I think he's had time to cool down. I think they have talked since. Like I think he's hidden it on the show.
Yeah, they said as much.
I don't think. Yeah, but I don't even mean like when he went to Chicago. I think it's probably been patched up for a while, and then kind of maybe got a little bit more like, angry again watching it back, and then because I did expect like a little bit more, maybe a little bit of anger today, and then like I figured by the end it would be okay, but then. It's kind of not like that. But
2 or 3 weeks ago, Kirk was saying, "Fuck this guy. I hope he dies." Like, So what? That went away in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, I think he was angry again, seeing it fresh. I think it just opened up the wounds, and he had 2 weeks to think.
And they also said 3 weeks ago. They said they've spoken since.
Yes,
right. So like,
you guys are realizing too, like it's not like Big Cat was coming back with haymakers. He rolled over like a dog. Like he was very much like, I don't want this fight. So it's tough for Kirk to just keep tripling and quadrupling down on how much of a pussy he is. At the end of the day, you you're beating a dead horse. Like Big Cat didn't want the fight. Like that was very clear.
Kirk's speech was the kill shot. That was the end. That was ending it. When Dan doesn't react to that at all, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
A little tear.
Yeah.
A little tear.
I was disappointed to hear that he hadn't actually spoken with Shea Kelly. That would have been great if they actually had that conversation.
Before we started the show, actually, Bill Leach said it was a dream come true of his to come on Mike and the Minifans. So it's great to have him.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Bill Leach also said that he stayed a little late from work, right? Wasn't it an hour and a half? You've been out of work now for a few hours?
Like 3 hours. I've been sitting in the office.
Wait, you're still not at home?
No. See, I work in Boston, but
we love him.
It could take like 2.5 hours to get home sometimes. I didn't want to risk being late. So
wow.
So do you have a family?
Dedication.
No. Single man,
He's not facts.
Attaboy, Bill.
No, not abandoning families to be here.
Staying on the Big Cat stuff, one of the things that stuck out in the phone call for me was he was clearly bothered by Kirk saying, "Oh, there's other people at the company that hate you too," and stuff like that. Like he immediately was like, "Who hates me in New York? Who hates me here?" Like Kirk said it was tongue in cheek, but I think there's probably some people at the company that were happy to see Big Cat kind of get exposed a little bit. I mean, you heard Rhea; she was almost celebrating, dancing on his grave there at the end.
Rhea hates it.
Yeah,
Rhea's the worst.
I hate Rhea.
The best female after it ended was Kelly Keegs, and even her performance was not great. They were all of them were so over the top and just so goddamn annoying.
Yeah, Megan making money was great, but I
don't know about you guys, but my biggest takeaway from the whole surviving Barstool was poor Marty Mush. Yeah. Like he has to go home and deal with that lunatic on a nightly basis, on a daily basis. He's at work with her all day. She is unhinged. She is. I don't even know how he does it. It's good on Hank. He escaped a fucking nightmare.
Please keep Hank's name out of your mouth for clicks. We're not talking about Hank for clicks.
Anything else on the Big Cat stuff? Anybody got any other thoughts to get off?
When the rumor first came out like 3 or 4 years ago, I remember like why is this not a bigger deal? Because it's very strange that there seems to be some validity behind this, and his whole act. The old time Barstool's getting built up. He's the second guy, in command. It's like, why is this not a bigger story? And then when it finally came to light, you could tell, like Big Cat. You would have thought, if you had no context to it, like Big Cat got exposed for like being like a pedo or something. Like the end of the day, he didn't break it. He didn't break any laws, but it is damning to his character.
But have you seen some of the tweets people have been digging up about, from like 2008, where he's talking about like the Steve Bartman game, and it's like, dude, you were a fan. You've been a fan for 3 weeks. Yeah, like what are we doing here?
Yeah. No, that's the craziest part about it is like he really can't play he can't be the woeful, boring, oh, my life is terrible Chicago fan. Like, wow, I've only won a championship. It's not authentic. He's been a fan of for 12 years. He saw one quote unquote Cubs World Series, one championship in 12 years. It ain't bad. I'll tell you that from my perspective.
I think where he really gets bothered by all this is people saying he did it for like a business perspective to grow the company. And, like I think two things can be true. Like he can be a bandwagon Chicago fan and still actually like the Cubs and still really care about the Bears. But I think people view it as, oh, the only reason why you did this is because KFC was doing New York and, the Philly guys were whoever. Like, it just almost seems like, we just expanded Barstool and we took
it was opportunistic. It was opportunistic.
He also said in his blog, right, that Neil was a fan of maybe some other teams and he took so much hell for it that he felt that he needed to hide it to be successfve in that market.
Yeah. I wonder if you go back in time 12, 15 years ago, whatever it was. And hey, I'm Big Cat. I'm from Newton, Massachusetts, but I've been a fan of, this is crazy to say. I've been a fan of Chicago sports teams for 3 years. Like he probably would get fucking chirped off the blog. So
Good.
Probably worked out for the best of them in the end, right? Like look what Barstool's built. He's a part of it.
For sure.
For me, I think it's just weird that he's so triggered by it. Like I've actually known this. He said this like 10 years ago when he was still on KFC radio. So like this is not that much of a secret. Like he actually
Barstool was what it is now though. Then you know what I'm
saying? I agree, but like this thing that it's like you said, like it's like he's hiding that he likes to diddle kids or something. It's like ridiculous that like.
Yeah, but it's a credibility issue. It's a credibility issue. That's what it is.
It's just like
he's lost credibility, and in that's important. Credibility is important. Not for me because I don't have any, but for him.
Well, we've heard it a couple of times, right? Authenticity is Barstool's brand. Yeah. So when one of your biggest stars is hiding a secret like that, it kind of really makes the whole company take a hit in my eyes.
I'll say this too, like for as long as I can remember, he's never been in any internet controversy. Like Barstool didn't throughout his tenure, obviously, in Portnoy especially, but Big Cat's never had a hit piece written about him that I can remember.
Barstool Van Talk is the closest.
The Van Talk stuff, but people supported him. He came out on top on that. Like
he did say he wanted Taylor Swift and Kelsey to have a sex tape come out.
Yeah, and again, like people knew that was kind of a joke. Like that wasn't heavy. Like he's never stepped in it bad. He's never had the internet hate him or even close to that. Like this was his first time ever getting it, and you can tell it was the one thing that bothered him. If he's DMing Minifans being like, "Hey, please don't mention the fact that I'm from Boston," like, dude, like, what do you think's gonna happen here? Like, eventually that's just gonna come up. Like, he's right when he said his biggest mistake was not addressing it right away. Like,
and you say he's never had any real controversy. Has he ever taken any real chances? Has he ever, stepped outside the box and done something that could be considered controversial? It seems like he's played it pretty safe his entire career.
He just wants to be liked.
Yeah.
He definitely he's upfront about that. And it's not like this happened. Say he's famous now in 1999, where there's really no carbon footprint of him growing up. Like he grew up in the internet still early on, the early onset of it, but he grew up in the internet era where everything is very traceable. Like there is a way to expose he was a fraud. So he really must have been dreading this day probably for a decade now. So like Kirk said, he probably is somewhat relieved because it was coming eventually.
On that note with the carbon footprint, I mean, Dave said today, what are the lies? There's got to be more lies. Like I was on with Kane last night and I told him, I mean, I found a blog that was written by his mother in 2010 talking about how he plays the oboe while in Les Miserables. So like, was he in the band? We saw him on acoustic night. Now we know he plays the oboe. What kid plays multiple instruments and grows up being a successful travel athlete? I just don't think that exists. How far back do the lies go?
I have Matt. What the hell are you talking about? I don't know.
What's an oboe?
The oboe, it's a wind
like a small flute.
It's like a little flute thing.
Okay. Yeah, no, I found a blog his mother had written in 2010 about the new high school. Yeah, I can send it to you. It's it was about the new high school that was built in Newton, and she was talking about I believe it's called the Lasker Auditorium, and she talks about how when her son Dan performed in the old auditorium, he played the oboe in Les Miserables, and
let's not forget Matt is a genuine psycho.
He had to use a
Matt
book
is a genuine psycho.
I'm a sleuth, brother. I'm a sleuth.
He didn't write the blog letters.
I mean, he'll be digging around, Big Cat's records for the next 3 weeks, I reckon.
No, I'm looking.
If you look at that blog, it says Miss Katz write an article about
it's. I don't want to go and say her name.
No,
don't. It's written
and it was published on Barstool Sports.
No. It's published on a blog forum in Newton.
Yeah, like
the mom was blogging. What the fuck?
The mom. It's in his blood, brother. Blogging is in his blood.
That's where he gets it from.
Jesus Christ.
That's wild.
Anything else?
The link, Mike.
Anything else on Big Cat or his parents? Anything? Just can we move on, please? Jesus Christ.
We move on from surviving Barstool. Just so fucking sick of that show.
Hey, as much as I have some disdain for Big Cat at this time, I will say though, 100% agree on his take on Rhea. That's the one piece of credit I'll give him.
Okay, Menners. Menners puts the one comment up that's, hey, let's get Mick a new life. You're such a scumbag. You really are.
Were you talking about oboes earlier?
Yes.
Quinlan? Oh no, different word.
Oh.
Shout out to homos out there.
Where are we at with the show? Let's do a state of the show. Are we happy with things? The producers, they seem to be, I guess, getting along and rolling. Menners, you always hate the show, so I'll start with you. What is your current thought process on Kirk?
Very well put, Mick. Very well.
So the show started the year terribly. The producers came out of the gate with nothing. Then it's just been surviving Barstool recap show after surviving Barstool recap show. Then you mix in Dave Cullinane's stupid Boston stories that no one cares about. The last 2 weeks, the show's never been worse.
Oh my God, Jesus!
But I would say,
how do you really feel, Menace?
But I would say
like never been bigger, Menners. Like the numbers are huge on YouTube. Like you're a fucking moron.
Right.
I feel like they've been rolling. Granted, I've been gone for a while, But it feels like they've been rolling. I'm really curious to see where they go now that
I'm a
surviving's
KMS
over.
fan. I'm
'cause
not a
that's been such
surviving
big
Barstool
part.
fan. I'm a Kirk Minahan fan. I don't care about all these stupid games they play. It's all fucking bullshit and childish. I mean, if Kirk wasn't in this game, he would be eviscerating anyone watching it. But yeah, I think it'll bounce back straight away. I think now that it's over, they'll just move on and the show will get back to being amazing.
You also hated the basketball content, right? You hate pretty much anything that's not the Kirk Minahan show, is what I've come to realize.
Yeah.
And the
or the Menners Network.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Right. We'll go to Bill Leach. Where are you at with the show?
I think it's been good. I mean, a little slow maybe coming out, not as many stories, but I think it's good. I always like it, though. I'm not really a show hater. I'm pretty easy, but I think it's been good. I worry a little bit that, like, if the case heats up, that
Good comment.
that is funny. I worry.
Can I just clarify? I
No,
emailed.
you can't. Let Bill speak. Let Bill speak. Let Bill speak.
Yeah, Bill.
You
no,
did.
you-
I
you-
was
no,
just
no,
saying,
let Bill speak.
I just worry if the case heats up that we might start getting less shows or no shows, but I don't know. I'm happy
We
with
haven't
that.
really gotten an update on the case in a little bit either, so
No.
could
Yeah, well,
be
Dave's
he could
working on it,
disappear
so
next
Dave's not
week. It
doing
could be
anything.
6 months. So
Dave
Alluded today to there being something coming up.
Dave's got it covered. He's he's on top.
if Dave has anything to do with how fast this progresses, I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah. Dave's too busy worried about Felger's NBC schedule than what's going on with the case.
All right, I'll ask another question because everybody's just saying the show's good or the show sucks. So there's nothing there. Let me ask you this: what's the future of our boy Blind Mike? This is a question that I have at the top of my list that I haven't really heard asked lately, and I'm curious to see you guys. Where does Blind Mike go? Like, is he always going to be a part of the Kirk Minahan show? Do you think at any point he really goes full time on his own? I feel like that question used to linger all the time, and we haven't really, at least on any Minifan show, I haven't heard it been brought up. So where does Mike go?
Couldn't you say he's already already full time by himself?
He definitely is.
Yeah, but he's also on the show twice a week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but what
that's
for?
promotion for him.
So if you call that work, he works 4 times. He works
away from. I meant like kind of being a lesser major role on the show. Do you think he'll always be a full-time member of the show? That's kind of what I'm getting at.
As long as he gets the promotion out of it, I definitely think he'll stick around.
As long as KMS is around, Blind Mike will be around
for sure. Look at his Twitter. In 2019, every tweet that the guy put out was KMS related. I don't think I've really seen more than a handful of KMS related tweets recently. He's pushing his own content, which is good for him. That's what he should be doing, right? That's where he makes his money. So, hey, he'll always be a part of the show, I think, but he is branching off on his own. He's making some money, doing his own thing. So, good for him.
I'm not saying Mike's like distancing himself from the show right now. I'm saying, do you think forever Mike will be in?
I get what you're saying. So you're saying if Kirk, he tweets right now, hypothetically, he's done, he's retired, he's done with all of it, he's moving to Barbados, and he deletes all social media. Where's Blind Mike 2 months from now?
There you go.
I think Blind Mike is still doing the Why Are They Laughing, wherever the fuck the podcasts are. Yeah, he would get less attention initially because, a portion of it comes from KMS, but I think he's built up enough of a separate base where he'd continue to grow. I could be wrong.
Mike, I think the opposite, Mike. I think if Kirk disappears tomorrow, I think his subscribers go through the roof just for people looking for some semblance of normality.
Oh, that's a different.
He's a familiar voice,
I don't think anyone who's
a fair way to look at it.
Subscribed to Mike now is going to subscribe because Kirk leaves.
They might watch
if you listen to
more,
Mike without Kirk, it is not anything like KMS.
I don't think it tries to be either. Like he certainly wouldn't sell himself as like that. Like he does the comedy thing, and it's very much different. You're right.
That's why
but
your question was kind of dumb.
There you go. I think personally though, like I think that his subscribers would go up. No, he's a maniac. He can say whatever he wants. That's fine. I think Blind Mike. What was that? I saw you light up at the question. You were like, "Oh, good one." What the fuck are you talking about? And I saw you roll the tape back.
Hey, listen, Matters is just here speaking to his friends. You got nothing else going on.
That's right. Yeah,
loser.
Right. Let's see. What else we got here? Dave,
I guess it'd be interesting if Blind Mike got an offer from another company, like a good offer from another podcast company, and he had to like make a decision between Kirk and a real job.
Right.
I don't think he'd take it unless it was like earth-shattering money.
No, I think Kirk would want him to. 100%.
I don't think that.
It's like Portnoy said today, where like the guys get money that's changing their lives. He can't try and fight them. I don't think.
Yeah, if it was earth shattering money, but if it like added an additional $20,000 to $30,000 a year, but he couldn't do anything came extra, I think Kirk would murder him for it.
Also,
Where
does he
what
go?
do we think
Where
he's
is he
making
going?
now?
Where they would say we don't want you on this Barstool Sports podcast. What company would that be?
Another
I don't
podcast
know.
company.
What do we think he's doing cash wise now? I mean, he said he has 10,000 subscribers. Is that on a paid platform?
I think it's his YouTube. I don't know if that's his Patreon.
Okay.
And he
Either
gets the live donations, right? What are those called?
Like the super chat.
Super
Yeah, the
chats,
super chats. Yeah.
No, Mike does well for himself, and like I'm not trying to get Mike off the show or anything. I was genuinely curious because we're on Mike and the Minifans.
Okay, so Mike has 1,159 paying members. The minimum of one is gone. So I'm assuming there's a few hundred people paying $1 a month, but everyone else is paying $5 or $10 a month. So, if he's got, say, 800 members on 5, 400 members on 5 and 400 members on $10 a month, that's, a bit of cash.
Plus
And he's getting money from the state.
Yep.
Yeah, he's doing well.
You guys are counting Mike's pockets for a reason. This just started into how much money does Mike make. I don't care about that.
It's public information.
Jesus Christ, I could care less
You're
about
trying
that.
to get rid of Mike.
Moving on. Let's go with this. Give me an ideal
That was entrapment, Manners. That was entrapment.
Kirk should get a piece of that anyway.
Oh, relax. See.
Coley and the OnlyFans.
Menners, as the former third chair booker, can you give us your ideal, I guess, network or third chair rotation? You at one point said that I was a once a month, once every 3 months, once a year guest. I don't know where I'm at now, but give me some of the people who should be in there once a month, once a week. Is there anyone else other than Mike that should be in there once a week?
Once a week's hard because people I don't think can commit to that. But I think you saw, you get a bench together of, 15 to 20 people who are good, maybe 10 to 15. Obviously Montante, Johnny Warren, Mama Kay, Ted Sellers, Kane. You build up a bench, and then Matt from Providence. I think it'd be good to go in.
Manners, can I ask you a controversial question and answer truthfully? Out of the people that you just named, who do you think is the most accepted third chair that you think is slightly overrated?
Montante.
I know you have someone in name. That's fair.
You probably.
I wasn't hoping that, but all right.
Yeah, because everyone says, Montante is far and away the best third chair apart from Blind Mike. I don't think it's that. I wouldn't totally agree with that. I think he's one of the best third chairs apart from Mike.
I'm right here. I'm Jerry.
But Menners, how do you feel about Dave's last couple of third chairs?
I thought he's trying. I think he's trying.
Do you
I
think,
don't think it matters if you get someone in with Blind Mike and they're not that good. Like, that Bish guy we're going to be joking about. Boston Joe today was fine. Like
Dreadful. No, he wasn't. He was
Boston
dreadful.
Joe was not 5 minutes.
Yeah, he was awful.
Bad, man.
I mean, he was a bit of a pun king, though. He did drop
not intentionally.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's a nice guy, but his time was awful. He didn't know when to fucking stand down. I'm sure he's a great guy. He was fucking god awful today.
Can I ask a question to Big Cat and just getting immediately shot down was great. No, you cannot.
I think the process of using
I can't believe he asked. I know.
I think the process of using the network as a trial ground, like that DG guy, like he wouldn't be good as a third chair. He's a drip. He's a massive drip.
You don't know that yet.
He was on Fireside Chat and he wasn't. He didn't really do it.
I was underwhelmed with his Fireside Chat appearance.
Freddie's not Kirk.
That's a good point.
That's true. Absolutely.
What do you expect?
But I think Kirk's kind of backed off. Kirk's kind of backed off digging into the guests. I don't know if you've noticed, like he used to go mining for shit, but he doesn't do that as much anymore. So
when Boston Joe was first on, he's the one who had the story about how his dad died and he was left out of the obituary. I feel like he was like pushing for that. Like he was wanting that stuff to get. Yeah, it was him. And he was out partying with his mom at the bar.
I know Cliff's dad's alive still.
Cliff doesn't like his dad.
But Mick, to answer your question, probably Dave's doing a terrible job pretty much in every way. So
are you actually down on Dave? Because I never know what's.
No, of course I'm down on Dave.
Can you rank us real quick, the producers of the Kirk Minahan show? Well, we
Yeah, I
have
did it recently.
Yeah. What was it?
It was, I think, Coleman, Justin, Steve, Cullinane, and then Gus. So
Oh, yeah.
I put Cullinane ahead of Gus. So
That's nice of you.
I would hope so. I mean, what the fuck?
Do you think Dave has like the sense of humor to be conducive with filling that third chair? I almost feel like he doesn't know what Kirk finds interesting and or funny.
He has no clue. He's totally clueless of who should be.
Would you guys rather prefer, if just say for argument's sake, there's 3 shows a week, just 2 Blind Mike solo shows and 1 random third chair a week, or what we currently have?
I wouldn't mind a little bit of both, but if I had to pick one or the other,
that wasn't the question.
I'm answering the question, asshole. I would say that I would have it now. I would rather have it how it is now.
I like it now. If you're putting the right third chairs in there, I think the way they're going now could be.
But it's hard when you have that many. It's fucking tough. I think I'd have no problem with 2 Blind Mike shows and some random schmuck off the street.
Well, I think agree with Montante. They burn out third chairs too quick sometimes. Or they rush people back in a few times. It's like, all right, we're gonna get. That's
because you're doing so many a week. If you did it once,
that's what I'm saying. I agree with you. Maybe
thank you.
So Mike, you're thinking these third chairs should just be the second chair one time a week. Yes. You don't think that could leave, like you get the wrong guy in there and that show could be fucked.
I have no problem with Blind Mike, Kirk, and the 2 producers twice a week. If the show was 3 times a week, I have no problem.
But what if it's Bish, Kirk, and the 2 producers?
I'm fine with that. Let that happen. That's where you find who's good in the third chair. That's how you find the people who can actually hang and have a conversation.
Correct. I actually agree.
I don't think that show is the proving ground for that.
No, but
those 2 producers should be able to speak enough.
The first 2 shows I did, there was no Blind Mike, there was no Justin. It was literally me and the producer. Like there was, and that forces you to have conversation. You're going to look like an idiot. You're going to say something stupid.
Mick, are you coming around to my point?
Yes, I think so. I think you swayed me somehow.
Inadvertently, I did.
With Mike,
look at Richardson Metters is what a cocksucker he is, huh?
What?
Mike's too much of a safety blanket because he'll just talk. Like you don't have to say anything because Mike will say.
Throw a third person to the wolves once a week. I would
by
like
yourself.
Yeah. Remember Clemmer Fridays when Clemmer used to get shit on by people? Like it was fantastic. It was. Yeah. I want that again.
I love Clemmer Fridays.
All right, I'm coming around. I'm coming around.
All right, next question. I got another one here for you. You can bring back one Minifan who has, I guess, disappeared from the KMS world. Not completely disappeared all the way, but at least somebody who's not around anymore. It's somebody, you got anybody at the top of your head that we can try and bring back for 2025?
You did it tonight, Mick.
Oh boy! Oh Jesus Christ!
Let me answer his question so we can pretend he didn't say that. I would say my buddy Daver.
Oh, that's a great answer.
I like Dave. Daver was good on the show.
No, I miss Mr. R.A. Minahan, Abraham Hands himself. He was great.
Manners, who are you missing?
I'd love to see Steve from Providence come back.
That wasn't really him, was it? There was a Twitter account like over the last week that was claiming to be Steve from Providence, but I'm not quite sure if it was authentic.
Bill Leach, you got anyone in mind?
I don't know if it counts. I was thinking the other day, I kind of miss Steve's the liar guy. Just like,
yeah, but that's kind of the R around him. He just shows up every now and then. Like if he was around, I think that's what's great about him. He'll just pop in, every live show or something like that. So let's not burn him out too much.
VD as well. VD.
Yeah, we got a month of VDs back.
He survived the fires, by the way.
Yes,
who kind of floated away very quietly. But I haven't seen Gig anywhere.
Yeah, where's
he popped out? He did one tweet about me. He did like a graphic about me, and that was his first tweet in 3 months. And I was like, "Let's go!" He's back, and he just disappeared again. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I changed my answer to Gig. Gig's my answer now.
Show proof of life and just pop away again. That's very funny. I didn't know he did that.
Yeah, Little People, Big World guy, or anybody in your mind that you'd like to see on the show again?
No, I'm a VD guy. I'm ready for VD to come back.
Yeah.
Super Bowl's almost here. VD will be back right after that.
I have a personal question for you, Little People. Did you reach out to him during the fires?
I did. Yeah, of course I did.
He's a good guy. He knows what to do. The right thing.
Is he
VD bought a house literally like 5 days before the fire broke out. That would have been an unbelievable story if his house burnt down within a week of home ownership.
I will say he called out Daver for owing money and he owes me $50, but we'll.
Whoa.
He doesn't.
VD. Yeah. Listen. Little
you also owe me around the golf, so let's not
get into the golf. So I get the $50. I can't afford it.
I also owe
used to
you a
get
round of
a-
golf. I owe you a round of golf as well, Montante. If you
Let's
wanna
wait till the
keep that-
temperature goes above 6 this weather.
There you go. A little controversial here. I would love to see Carano back on the show. I think Carano was the perfect guy to hate, and you get annoyed with him, but he was a good producer, and he brought some interesting topics. He wouldn't be like great, in there every day, but if he came in once a month or so, I think he'd be great in there.
I actually think he could be good once a week, no problem.
Yeah,
I just
or
think he has more interest in women than he does going in there once a week. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with that. I love Carano. Carano was great. He was. If there is no Carano, there's no Clemmer. So you have to appreciate Carano for what it's worth.
Yeah. Maybe we'll try to get Carano back for like the live show in New Hampshire or something like that. Maybe we can sway him there. I have a feeling he'd, is he a New Hampshire guy? Isn't him and Clemmer, did they start with that?
Yeah.
Or is that just Clemmer? Menners, you know the answer to that.
Sorry, what was that? No, I don't think Carano's in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
He's in Florida now. He was in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
I
they were
respect
together in New
I
Hampshire.
respect the hell out of Blind Mike because that Rome podcast was fucking awesome. It was undersold how funny it was. Blind Mike really took the fucking bullets for that. It was a very funny show. I'm not even lying. Very good show.
Oh, when they would play it on KMS on like the 2 weeks that I was going, it was fantastic.
Hilarious. It's unbelievable.
Another big news today coming out of the world that, honest to God, this was when I saw this picture later in the day. I was probably 5 hours late on it. I gasped. Our girl Chicken Fry is going on KMS. I don't care what you say. That is happening. That absolutely is happening. I know you guys are rolling your eyes. You're like, oh, fuck this. Chicken Fry might regularly be a third chair. Don't put that out of the question.
Well, we know she's sitting behind the camera right now, so why don't you bring her around and we can get her
I would
on
not
it.
complain if she was on.
Would you like to see her on there? Like, seriously?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's funny. She's smart. She's hot.
You funny and smart.
She's one of
You think so?
the last three, Menners. She's not funny or smart.
If the last couple of weeks taught us anything about the girls at Barstool, it's that they're none of the above.
Yeah, but
they're good looking. They're good looking.
So, like Rhea, you guys are saying Rhea's stupid. She played everybody. She just said like, yeah, I'm having a mental breakdown, and all the other idiots fell for it. Like that's the real problem. Is
You
she
think that was a play?
Come on, she knew what she was doing. Did you thought Will Compton was trying to like kill her? Did you see the way she reacted to the camera?
I think you think
I think
she's
she's just
that up?
mentally weak.
Are you
Yeah, I
kidding
think
me? You think she's playing that up? She's playing up to be a victim. Did you hear her speech? Her speech
You're
was like,
out of
feel
your
bad.
mind.
This is spoken like a guy who
You're out of
hasn't
your
spent much
mind.
time around women.
Okay, yeah, Matt, we got cool Matt. It's Friday night. Matt's feeling himself. All right.
Matt's been on the red wine.
I don't drink.
Oh Christ.
That diffuses that. Yeah, Mick, you're out of your fucking mind if you think that was a fucking act.
What do you mean?
Maria really has been through it her whole life working at Barstool. It's always been stacked up against her. She fucks half her coworkers and people get uncomfortable about it. Poor her. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
She's
typical broad
insufferable.
shit. Typical broad shit, bringing up stuff way in the past that has nothing to do
It's
with
been
today.
so
trying
hard
to become
here.
a
It's
victim.
so terrible. You know what Big Cat said today? I agree with. Then quit.
You know,
Yeah,
eight years of suffering. She's probably made herself $1 million at least over that 8 year span.
She's
Poor
never had a
fucking
real.
Rhea.
She's never had a real job.
But
Wait, I'm not defending Rhea. All I said was I think that she was a little calculated in her moves. I'm not saying like
No
she's
You think
No
she, you
shot
think she
was that
successfully
calculated.
faked a
you guys
panic
are out of
attack?
your goddamn mind. She would go
You're
to
out
the
of your
camera
mind.
and weep and be like, this
Yes,
is so
she's
unfair.
meant- She's mentally gonzo. That was not calculated.
You're foolish. You know what? You know what happens is guys like you vote for her. You feel bad.
I would've
at the
never
end.
voted for her.
That's exactly what happened.
It
If
has
Kirk was saying what
nothing-
Montante was saying, Menners would be losing his mind right now defending her, and he's not.
What do you think, Bill?
I think you know what? Mick convinced me. I actually thought it was genuine.
What?
Mick's right, because if you think about it, she'd kind of turn it off sometimes. She'd stop crying, then all of a sudden she's crying again. Now she's back in front,
It's almost
now
like she's
trying to
nuts,
rego.
Bill.
I mean, both could be true. They're not mutually exclusive. She could be nuts and calculated. You don't know.
So you thought,
I
Montante, you honestly thought she was actually that bothered by the Will Compton text?
Yes.
You're out of
Yeah,
your
she
fucking
was-
mind.
100%.
She's an over emotional
100%.
female who's never had real turmoil, but acts like her life is the toughest thing ever, and she'll tell you about it.
She
Right.
thought
Actually,
she thought
I'm
the
gonna-
game was ending for her in that moment. She thought I have
She
to
thought her
stab
life
Dave
was
in the
ending.
back. I can't do that, and then I'm not going to get any votes. She thought the game was over for her in that moment, and she fucking lost it.
I don't know. I think you guys. I think you guys got taken for a ride there.
You're giving her way too much credit.
She played that game pretty good. She played all that pretty good.
Go to the next topic because Menners is bored. I don't want to bore him.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about surviving. We don't,
What are you talking about? I'm not
I see your dumb face, Menners.
Sorry. Yeah. What else do we have? Let me see.
There's not a lot going on with the main show. So
If you had a light, you could read your lips.
Menners is such a cocksucker. He
He
really
really is. You know what I mean?
He's like his hack question so far. Oh, who's your favorite third chair? Who would you like to see come back?
Surviving before Menners fucking derails everything. One last thing on surviving. If I understand this right, did they know who won before they did like the live reveal?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They all speak to each other.
But why would you? It almost took like all the authenticity out of like the reaction to who won. Wouldn't you rather have seen?
I think if the vote, if say there's 14 people voting and 9 people between the lines, who voted for who, you're still gonna have a little bit of mystery. It was such a runaway vote that even if you know half of what happened, you know the result.
But like Megan Making Money sitting there, she loses, but she just like no reaction. If you got her when the emotions
known for
were
weeks.
high, yeah, exactly. But if you got her the day later the day that they had that final challenge, whatever, they do their speeches, they do their votes, and you get her while the adrenaline's still pumping, like she might have fucking F-bombed everybody in that room. And that's what I want to see.
In theory, the concept makes sense if you already don't know on your flight into Chicago what happens. The cat was already out of the bag. But if it was actually close and you knew that from what you've heard, the votes were actually split and there's maybe 3 or 4 undecideds, that's where your speech can win over and win you the money. But at that point, it was already toast. So that's why there was no emotion on the last day. In my thought. Sorry, Menners. Again, I don't want to bore you. What do you want to talk about, Menners? Ariana Grande? She's up to 73 pounds. How hot is she?
She's not looking good.
Pervert.
Menners, what's up with the network? Give us a network update. You've kind of reshaped this now. It's no longer the Minifan network. It's no longer the Menners network. It's the Minifan network again. Is this show on the main network or just the Minifan network right now?
You're an idiot. There's only one. There's only one fan content network, and that is the Minifan network.
Right.
I'm the CEO. John's the executive producer. Mm-hmm. We've got a social media team. It's rolling. It's rolling. So basically, it's really easy. And one of the added bonuses is now every show has an audio release. So there's a lot of people that don't have YouTube Premium. So subscribe to the podcast feed.
YouTube stuff to get.
In other words, Mick, there's a bunch of retards.
Well, you can't actually use it as a podcast app if you don't have premium. Like you can't scroll on your phone and shit, but that's all right. Be an asshole. So yeah, the network's going great. Thanks for asking. And look, if you want to be involved with any of the shows, especially Mike and the Minifans, like it is brutal. Like poor Mick has been, trying, for 2 days to get a panel together. Yeah. People, saying yes and no.
Yep.
Hence why he did zero preparation on his questions because his whole time went on getting a panel. So
right.
If you want to be on Mike and the Minifans, reach out to me. Reach out. I wouldn't reach out to John because he didn't want to hear out. The other, reach out to the Axe. Reach out to Mick, and we'll keep your details.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.
Yep, and have a lot of fun. Minifan Networks, a safe space. Drips in the office coming back. So,
is there something that the network is missing that you'd like to see?
I think I'd love to see a Minna Ladies show. Like that's been talked about.
Okay.
So I think it's a bit of a sausage party at the moment. So I wouldn't mind seeing. We've got the diversity. We've got Tommy Quinlan on there and stuff like that. But I'd love to see a Minna Ladies show.
What's diverse about Tommy? He's a white male. What do you mean by that?
LGBTQI community.
Sure. Yeah. Any other networks ideas here in the on the panel? Anybody want to see a show? Anybody have an idea for a show? Something.
Freddie's a low key diva. That's some more news.
What's your problem with Freddie?
He's a low key psychopath diva. He does a good show, but he's very, very sensitive.
Give us a little more. Give us a little more.
He's like Dava was. Like they're very precious about their show. They pretend to be easygoing, but they're not at all.
Okay. It's funny that you've had a lot of partners that you say are similar. I think at some point you gotta look a little.
Maybe on you.
I don't know. Look at how well Kane's doing.
Right. He's a good example.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yep.
It's tough.
I have an idea for a show.
There you go. Give me something.
I thought about this around when we were doing
Give
Jeopardy.
him something to talk about. He's run out. He's done a color name.
There's
40
fucking
minutes in,
nothing.
he's
I've
run out of
asked I've
topics.
asked questions. You'll talk for fucking 10 seconds and you'll be like, this is boring. All right, thanks. Billy,
I think I have a
tell me
good
something.
idea. I think I have a good idea.
Give me something, Bill.
Go ahead, Billy.
Now, I don't know if it can be done because I don't know the technology of all this. But I was thinking, what if there was a Minifan version of Say What Karaoke, Say What Karaoke, and it was Minifans doing parody songs, and it's the same concept as Say What Karaoke, but we probably need the lyrics because I don't remember the words.
What'd you call it?
This is Jeff
Karaoke?
D-Lo. This is Jeff D-Lo.
Yeah, exactly. Say What Karaoke, and then we vote on who does it the best.
Say what karaoke.
When I was growing up in school, they said there's no such thing as a bad question. I'm not gonna say there's no such thing as a bad suggestion, but if there was, it would be that.
What? Fuck you, Montante.
That
That's a
is
great suggestion.
no, that is one of the
That'd be a
worst
great show.
suggestions.
That'd be
The
a
worst.
great
That's
show.
the worst suggestion I've heard since Meners wanted a doll of Ted Sellers.
That's great. Yeah.
I got a DM from, I believe it was Snowmobile Kirk or Snowmobile Minahan a couple days ago. Mick, I think he said he had reached out to you about
Yeah, he's been in the DMs.
trying to work something out
Snowmobile
where maybe
Kirk.
like when enemies identify themselves, it's kind of like a pop-up show where we, sleuth on them a little bit, find the information that we need to direct the Minifans
So
at them.
this is how he found the blog, by the way. Now it's starting to make sense how he found Big Cat's mother's blog all of a sudden. He had the
It's
show
a support
plan.
group for people who want to die.
It's not me. That's
on
not
here?
me. He reached out to me
You and
after all
Kirk's
that.
Snowmobile.
You and the snowmobile are up to something.
I don't know if you saw. I had some guy from some Philly fan come after. He was coming after Kirk.
Was he
pretty
over-
hard,
was he
saying
overweight?
I don't know. He didn't have any pictures of himself, but he was
okay.
saying some
Typical.
pretty
I don't-
disrespectful things about Kirk, about Kirk's kid, about his wife, and I just kind of went back at him, and I tweeted something about it, saying like I long for the days when like the Minifans would fucking all gang up on these people and just either get them to quit Twitter, block everybody, whatever. And that's when Snowmobile Kirk reached out to me and was like, hey, like I've been thinking about doing something to kind of concentrate the force of the Minifans at these fucking assholes. So
Yeah. I don't
Probably
think
not
there's
something what's on the network.
I think that should be like a hidden thing. Like like we go to when we need it. I don't necessarily think we have to expose our psychopaths, but I do like the idea.
We got one guy who gets a
Publicly
social
stalk
security.
people.
Relax.
Publicly stalk people. Let's make them listen to Say What Karaoke. That'll be their punishment. They have to sit there
Hey,
and listen
if
to
you did that,
Justin
people would sing. Whatever you want to know, they'll give it up.
I will say when Kirk,
I do like the name.
when he had tweeted out that there are real enemies or real show enemies for the first time in years or something along the lines of that, you did notice like people kind of come out of the woodwork. People are starting to get mad at Big Cat. And I think that's where the frustration is for a lot of fans thinking that it might have been a bit or that they played it up. Like, I think people were legitimately ready to try and like ruin someone's life. And as sad as this is, like I kind of love that because most of the time it's a bad person that we're going after. And for some reason that makes me feel good. I like exposing shitty people on Twitter. I like talking shit to bad people. Like that to me is fun to do as a Minifan. And I think some people are ready to do that for Big Cat. The problem is the hate really wasn't there at the end of the day. And he didn't really do anything wrong. So I think a lot of people are like kind of confused on what to feel.
that used to be like one of my favorite things to do was go after people. Like I remember when the whole Talib Kweli thing happened, I had, somehow some people must have like reverse ran my IP. They had my name, they had my address, they had my place of employment. They were calling my boss, and it was a scary time, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I kept my job,
Talib
just
Kweli
like you
has,
at Spiegel.
fans that would do that.
Oh yeah, they were. I forget what the whole beef was even about, but like they were. I was called a Nazi probably 150 times a day by a rabid army of Talib Kweli fans.
Okay.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
I forget.
O.J.
to
Simpson
be honest with
related?
you.
He wasn't.
Was
one of
it
the
O.J.?
No,
Was he one of
I
the
don't
O.J.
think
Simpson
so.
supporters? No.
Might
No, I
have
don't
been.
Manners would know if he was a fan, but he's so disinterested that.
He's a little checked out.
Well,
I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
There's no respect whatsoever.
No, no,
He comes here to make friends, and this is how he acts.
Yeah.
I've got
you know
some
what it is?
questions for you, Mick.
I'm starting to realize this. When he's not in control of the conversation, he just completely mentally checks out of it. Like he doesn't.
I'm listening.
Yeah, no, you have no idea what was just said. I mean, it's pathetic.
I've got some stuff for you. So, Mick,
Go ahead,
firstly.
sure.
Well, first thing is you were right on Kirk's outfit. So you tweeted out the Kirk.
Oh, I'm glad you brought it up.
and it appeared that it wasn't a Milton's outfit, so it was just
His
some
trousers?
shit he put together.
He
Thank
looked like a
God.
'90s kid. That's what he looked like, a '90s kid going to like a wedding. That's what that
It
was.
looks like he stole the pants from like a locker next to him in gym class, and the guy was 6'6".
Well,
He's trying
I
to make
was
it work.
never.
Those
I
shorts-
couldn't have
those
been more
pants were
relieved.
unbelievable.
Couldn't have been more relieved to hear that it wasn't from Milton's, because as we know, Milton's has the tailor right in the back of the shop, and if they let him walk out of there looking like that, it would have been unforgivable. So
It is a
I was
look.
very pleased to hear it wasn't Milton's.
Like,
Yeah.
do you think he had
So-
like the tightest belt ever or something? Like, how is he keeping those things up? Like, I was surprised. Like, when they panned over to his pants, I gasped. I was like, oh my god! Like, I thought that was almost a bit.
I didn't know they made bootcut khakis.
He looks like Cinema Lords. It was ridiculous.
But if those pants were tailored properly, I'm under the impression that was a fire look if those were tailored right.
Yeah.
Get a little taper in there, looking good.
Manners, one more back.
Here's a live photo from in the auditorium. I think that's Mayo on stage or some. I don't know if that's Mayo. I can't see, but anyway.
I hate to say it. I
Just-
bet you Mayo would be funnier than you think. That sickens me to say.
He was
Not
good
intentional.
last time. He's
To a
funny
group,
guy.
Oh,
to a room
let's not
full
get
of
carried
60-year-old women.
Yeah,
I
he's
couldn't
good
do
at like the work presentation jokes like that. Yeah,
Dude,
he's good.
I could not do that.
Yeah, you think but you think
You're not
like
a cornball.
people with a couple drinks in them at like a comedy show, you think Mayo goes up and they're gonna be like, yeah, that guy's funny. They'd be like, who
Dude,
the
I
fuck
don't
is this
know.
guy?
I mean,
I
worst
don't
case
know.
scenario, he gets to laugh at the thing on his face. So
Yeah.
Other thing, Mick, I was going to ask you. As someone who was passed over as producer a number of times,
Yeah.
surely seeing
I was
how
offered the
bad.
job, right? We got to keep it real. I was offered the job as well, right?
You
Come on.
have to be fair here. He did. He was
Right.
passed up on twice. He passed
Thank
up
you.
one. It's almost
Thank
even.
you. Thank you.
The producer
Wait,
shows
Mick,
this.
Mick, how many times did Metters get offered the job?
Well, that's a good point. I don't think ever.
Carry
How
on,
many times-
carry on, Metters. Go
I
ahead.
got offered the job if
I
I,
got
swam
offered once.
over.
Yeah.
I could have
Well,
swum
Conditions,
over and
there were
got it.
conditions.
Go ahead, Metters.
The producer shows this week were god awful. I mean, what would you be if you were in there? What would you be doing?
During the breaks, you're saying?
Just these producer shows are so goddamn awful. Like, what would your suggestion be?
Well, I think first of all, is Justin and Dave. I think when Kirk's away, try to do a version of like the Kirk Minahan show. Like they don't try to be Kirk, but they try to talk about the topics that Kirk would want to talk about. I would rather just them do their own show and talk about how maybe the shit at work sucks, what's hard about the job, stuff like that, like the inner producer stuff. Like, oh, it sucked when Kirk said this the other day, or it sucked when Dave sent him the group text. I felt like an idiot. Well, whatever. Just give me more behind the scenes inner producer stuff.
I have a question then. If that's, I actually don't think that's what they do, but given that, do you think will they be able to get away with maybe bringing in like some random third chair or maybe 2 third chairs and have 4 people doing a quick 80-minute show about God knows what? Do you think Kirk would murder them for that?
No, I don't think so. When he was away or something for like a week, I don't think so at all.
Why would they not do that then?
Yeah,
I
Depends
get
on what they're
that
going to
for it.
talk about.
it's a
If
great
they're going to
question.
waste
I don't
something
know.
to be on the show.
well, there were some calls for Mick to do some shows when Kirk's away today. I
Yeah,
saw on Twitter.
That's
So,
ridiculous.
Bill, you're kind of representing sort of the everyman Minifan here. What do you want to see when Kirk's off?
Well, better than that.
Hey,
Yeah, I
there
think-
you go, Bill.
No,
Attaboy.
I think they could do a good show. I just think, I agree with the fact they were trying to do like the Kirk Minahan show, and they can't do that. They're
You
not.
think so? I didn't get that idea.
Yeah, I think they because they're like, oh, what's in the news or whatever. I'd rather hear like Justin like running down like, oh, I ate this factory meal and I jerked off to the girl with the braces. Like him just being like weird Justin would be funny. And like Dave is unintentionally funny because he's like just a silly man. Like if just Dave being Dave and like Justin being Justin would be a good show.
See,
Yeah, throw in a third chair. I think that would be good.
I think you can get that if it's not just them two. If you throw a third person in there to just add that extra element, then weird Justin can come out. But when Justin feels like he has to like quote unquote host, you're not going to get anything entertaining. Bring in a third person.
I'd rather hear Justin talk about Teen Titans for 35 minutes.
You know what?
Then
Then
try to go through the movie. Like,
I'll tell you what. That's a good spot for a third chair to show what they got.
Yep,
I think if
I
we do
agree.
what Bill's suggesting here with Justin just talking, Chris Hansen is going to pop out of a fucking closet
And that would be
somewhere
fucking
sooner
entertaining.
than later.
that would be entertaining. He just
Justin needs to
fucking
watch his
act-
mouth, probably not open it as much as, Kirk would like him to, because he's going to get himself in trouble. There's some demons in that closet, and I don't want to.
Okay,
open
all
up.
right.
It was horribly
Matt, what, you think he's actually like a rapist? I mean, you know what I mean? What are we talking about?
I
But
mean,
I
he's
think it
got
was horribly
some
Good
questionable
on you.
taste.
Good on you, Mick. Good on you, Mick.
You know, like someone's got to say it.
Good for you. That's how you rebuild the relationships right there. Matt,
I
is
think
just
Justin-
counting on the seconds. There's just him and John from Scranton taking no calls for 50 minutes before they both go to bed.
No, we're
Look
not
at
doing Manners Live
Oh,
after
right.
this. So,
Mick, all I'll say is where there's smoke, there's fire, my friend.
Oh boy. All
I
right.
think
well,
Justin,
that was weird. Like Justin talking about, like, oh, you don't need to jerk off when you're watching Teen Titans. Like, he did dig himself a massive hole there.
Well,
Yeah,
the issue
you don't
Justin
need
has is
to.
he
That
can't-
means you
he can't-
can.
He can't
And
lie.
he has
He can't
been. Like,
lie.
clearly, he has jerked off a lot to Teen Titans.
Well,
Yeah.
to each of their own. I mean, everybody, we can't kink shame here. You know what I
listen,
mean?
I'm not
Tommy
king
Tommy
shaming.
Quinlan likes black guys. No, nobody's
There you
perfect.
go.
Okay, people
Right.
are into what
So
they're
here
into.
we go.
Someone on this panel has talked about Marge
55
Simpson
minutes
before.
in. He was racist. There we go. Montante's back.
Okay, do me a
He's
favor,
heading
Meadows.
to-
Go ahead.
Are you
Do
counting
me
the
a
seconds
favor.
so you can get
How
to your
so?
KKK meeting, aren't you? It's like, what time have you got to
How
be
is
there?
how? Meadows, you fucking liberal. Get another vaccine. This one hopefully kills you. Fucking pussy.
I've got another take as well. So,
Send you right to hell.
so talking about the producers, like, this is what I don't think they're thinking. Kirk has all these news hits about the Patriots. He obviously has some source who gives him information.
Yeah, I know who it is, by the way, but continue.
Okay, right. So
Yeah.
if he wants to be taken seriously, all he has to do is get Cullinane or Justin to write it up as a blog and put it on Barstool. Like, Kirk's reporting that whatever her name is out of the Patriots. You can't take Twitter seriously. Like, no one's going to go, oh, someone said it on Twitter, so I'm going to credit them. But if it was written as a Barstool blog every time he broke news, I reckon it would have more credibility. Just the way it works. If once it's written down, like reported, people take it more seriously.
does he want?
He also hurts himself by doing the occasional, hey, get a clean cut of this, and the Brady Belichick thing, which he completely made up, right? Like, he burned himself in the future from actually getting credit for some of these scoops because he occasionally will make a joke out of it.
He's
Why does it
probably
matter
just
if it's a
mucking
tweet?
around.
What's the difference between a tweeted video and then the blog if it's the same person
I
doing it?
actually I would make the
Yeah, I
argument that a tweet is
No.
actually more getting more.
You don't know
eyeballs
what you're
than a
talking about.
fucking
Both of you
blog.
don't know what you're talking about. Two fucking
What are you talking
morons.
about? More
have
people
no
watch
idea about
short
the
Can you
news.
clips.
explain why,
Not
though?
reading-
Can you give a reason
You're
why?
making no sense, man, you fucking idiot.
I'm just
You're
telling you
talking
the
about
way the
Barstool
media
blog.
works. When stuff
How the
is
fuck we
written,
Maybe
know.
down under, that's how the media works. This is
Whatever.
America, manners. We do things different.
There's a
here.
reason
Like,
why
if it
TikTok
comes, if
for
it
now
comes
is
before the number
The
one movie
toilet's
of the
flushed
90s,
counterclockwise up here.
it's better.
I didn't hear what you said.
more people would rather watch. You get more attention than a 15-second video that goes viral than a 2-minute blog. Are you out of your mind?
If you have it written down at Barstool, he will get credit for it. If it's reported, written down, I'm just telling you the way it works. That's the way those hack journos work because
all right.
they want to
maybe
keep
if
their
you-
jobs.
They could do a blog for the reports. What else could they do? I'm serious.
Well,
what else
They-
could the producers
they
do?
do both. You're talking about generally?
Yeah, just generally. What else?
Okay,
We agree. We could do a blog. What else?
Okay. Producer
won't
show.
hurt you.
They could put some thought into the producer show.
Yeah.
Like, not just turn it on and have a few topics written down. Like, as we all came up with decent ideas to get third chairs in, do certain things. Like, they could actually
My
try
idea.
and add something. Like, they did a trivia. Like, something like that is better than just them blabbermouthing about what they've been doing.
Mhm.
Cullinane's awful. Like, Cullinane just has no idea what Kirk wants to talk about anymore. Like,
That's
he
funny.
doesn't.
I think
But
it's
is it
funny.
just Dave's job to bring topics? Like, why don't you give Justin that same? I feel like you're only on Dave to bring the. I feel like that's your main criticism of Dave. Like, why?
That's
isn't
true. That's true.
Dave
Just-
looks so
just-
disinterested, though. Every show, he's sitting there just blankly staring into the screen, just not into it. He looks like he doesn't
and
even
you're
want to be
saying-
there.
You're saying
Sorry?
Dave?
Yeah, Dave.
I don't agree with that. I don't think Dave's checked out of the show. I think there's times where Dave could probably add more, maybe do what he used to do, like make it about himself. I think now he's just kind of like let Kirk run the show and feed off that. Like, I think Dave used to get criticism for making everything about himself and being too much into it. So,
Do you typically watch on YouTube or do you listen on podcast?
depends on the day, but a lot of times I'm on YouTube.
I feel like every time I'm watching YouTube, he's just kind of like staring at the screen. Looks like he just doesn't want to be there.
He's
Yeah.
waiting for Justin to do something silly
Yeah.
to save him.
He's just on Nurse Kim's Twitter all day. Yeah, but I'll tell you who's having a bit of a renaissance. Coleman. His stocks are going up. As always, when a producer leaves, their stocks go up.
Yeah.
Can you say Renaissance again?
renaissance.
I love it.
I didn't know where he was going when he first said it, and then I put two and two together.
I could listen to that on loop.
Something that our boy John from Scranton has brought up, and I think most Minifans would agree. Why is there not T-shirts sold like more frequently? Why isn't there not like a T-shirt store with the what was the saying that Kirk said, "Hatred's forever" or whatever?
Hate is
That's
priceless
great.
or something like that.
Yeah.
What was it?
Hate is
Yeah.
priceless, I think.
Why,
I mean,
why is
that would fly.
You know what I mean? Like,
I
I
would buy-
feel
that's
like
great.
it's been talked about for years now, and they would sell shirts off the rack. Like, I don't know why he's not doing that. That's something I would love to see in 2025. Let's get fucking more than just the KMS T-shirt. Like,
I agree.
think it's-
Yeah.
Do you
Some of
think
these
it's
other
possible
shows-
the shirts that they do put out don't sell off the rack, and that's why they don't do it?
Well, it's the chicken and the egg that if you put out shit shirts all the time, no one's going to buy them.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
Yeah,
other
like-
shows are putting out stuff
Hold on.
throughout the year, right?
you guys are missing like the thing that's why the shirt's going to sell is you're capitalizing off like the moment of it. Like,
I agree
it's-
with
it's
Mix.
not just, like,
100% right.
Design that's cool. It's more just like, hey, people are talking about it on Twitter. People are doing this. Let's
you-
buy the shirt. Like,
If you put out a Dan from Newton shirt out this
There you
week,
go.
they would have sold, 1,000 shirts.
That
with
one probably would sell.
A
Kirk
silhouette
once said,
with a
"Life's too short for
Have
fun." That shirt would be fantastic.
Mm.
The problem is Kirk doesn't care about the merch, and then the producers don't take it upon themselves. I think a lot of these other Barstool shows, the producers are kind of in charge of that. Like they identify what would be a good shirt, put it out. So why can't Dave and Justin do that?
Justin's worried about his waistline, and Dave's worried about himself. So they don't care about the show.
all right. Well, we're at an hour now. I want to keep this at an hour each week. Does anybody have anything else before we get out of here? Any
How long?
sports-
How long? Realistically, if I set a line to March 15th, are you still
Yeah.
hosting every week until then?
Listen, if you're putting money on it, I would take the under. But the plan is yes. The plan is
All right,
yes.
Fair. No, that's fair.
no,
That's incredibly. That's the most fair answer you could have given.
Yeah.
Mayo would like to host, I think,
So,
a show.
that's what I
That right there. That's the end of the show.
yeah.
Done.
Well, I tried to tell when he said that to me, I was like, "Good luck getting a panel, Mayo."
I don't
No
think I'll
one's
be
gonna wanna
welcome
do
that
it.
week.
I
I don't
said
think anyone will do it.
no matter what, I'll do 3 out of 4 weeks. I'll try to make every single week. If there's some reason I can't make it, there's been multiple people that have reached out and said they're willing to host a show. I would imagine Montante could do it. Menners, you could do it. Anybody
I
could.
got a
fucking-
message from Fax during the show begging to come on. He's
real?
really
Well,
missing it.
good
Yeah,
good
he's like,
instincts
"There's
by
6
you by
people."
fighting it, not bringing them on. Good on you, Menners.
He's like,
He might have
"Can I
saved his
come
job
on?"
by not letting him on.
Yeah.
Is he
He's
really trying to
upset.
come on? What-
Yeah, he was messaging me. Why can't I come on? There's 6 people. Surely one more. I'm like,
Okay. Yeah. All right. Anybody else got anything before we go?
No, I just would say, Mick, I thought you did a very good job, and I thought you took a lot of very small, not even intentional steps forward to rebuilding. Not friends with Justin, but a realistic, understandable relationship. You guys don't have to be shut the.
And hey, guys,
Menners.
this is the last time Mike and the Minifans is going to air when Donald Trump is
I'm
not
so
our president.
glad. I'm so glad your wife smartened up and left you. I'm just glad you and
Jesus.
Justin. I'm so glad you and Justin are showing like there could be a chance of you guys becoming hospitable again. That's all.
Oh,
We almost were there without having a little fireworks. All right.
Well, Manners had to step in and be a dickhead.
Everybody take it easy. Have a good week. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Another tough day at work today. Stephen Kirk, think I saw.